Hi, this is Astro Steve, and in this video we're going to talk all about Scorpio. I hope you're ready, because Scorpio is a very intense sign. One of the most intense signs of the zodiac. Scorpio, a lot of people don't understand them. Almost like Cancer. Scorpio, now a lot of people say, oh, you either love or you hate a Scorpio. Not really. I mean, not to the extent of the following sign, okay, of Sagittarius, which again we'll get into our next video. Scorpio, they just have a power to them, alright? And people with this power, okay, it can kind of shy people away because, and this is kind of where some people say, oh, you either love or you hate them, but it's not an outward expression. It's more within themselves that they kind of either love or you hate them. It's not like, again, in our next sign, you either outwardly love them or you outwardly hate them. This is more in yourself, in your emotions, within you, deep within you. You either love or you hate them because they have this power, they have this strong energy. Because Scorpio is all about the dark things, the deep things, the intense things in life. So this can mean that you're interested into these secretive things. Now again, we'll be talking about all of these planets in Scorpio. This is just getting to know Scorpio. They're all about these deeper things. So, you know, a lot of your Scorpions, people who have a lot of Scorpion influence in their charts, they can be very interested in these, you know, in the normal life. They can be, you know, interested in, you know, scuba diving, or they could be interested in marine biology, or any form of like marine life, or digging deep for treasure, or people who search for treasure, or things like this, okay, or archaeologists, or surgeons, because these people have to dig deep, okay. But in another sense, they can be interested in the types of things that not everybody goes into, or the types of things that not everybody understands. Astrology. They can be people who go into the magic, who are interested in like black magic, or even just regular old magic. They can be a mystic. They can be, you know, interested in the tarot cards, or anything like this. These sort of deeper things in life that not a lot of people venture into, just because of the fact that, you know, these things are very deep. And, you know, Scorpio is spiritual, okay, not necessarily, you know, spiritual when it comes in terms of God, but they definitely know their inner self. They're spiritual within themselves and kind of within the deeper portions of life. Spiritual, they're very, you know, they have this energy to them that kind of either draws people in or pushes people away. Scorpio is also on the outside, they're very inflexible because they hold their opinions very close to them, and they will not change their opinions just because you want them to change. Now people say, oh, you know, Scorpio is a very changeable sign because it's ruled by Mars. Well, it's ruled by the other part of Mars, alright, and it's also ruled by Pluto. Now, Scorpio is a sign of change, but in a deeper sense, not necessarily in your outward life, alright. Scorpio understands that there's when you have a major change going on, alright, they may be resistant to it, but deep down they know that this change is going to be something that transforms them into something totally new, alright. So, in a sense, they kind of are a sign of change, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. They may still be resistant to change. Also, Scorpio is definitely, they have a lot of emotions. Their emotions can really go up and down. Okay? This is another way that Scorpio can kind of be showing a sign of change, but again, it's more within themselves that this change is going on, not necessarily outside, not in the outside world. So they're not the type of person who will be doing one thing and then they'll change to do another. It's going on within themselves. Okay? Scorpio is, they have a deep emotional system within them. They can. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Scorpio isn't sympathetic, or they're not empathetic people. Absolutely not. Alright? Your water signs automatically have this sympathy to them, have this empathy to them. So, they're a water sign, and nobody can fight that. So yes, they are sympathetic. They are empathetic. And guess what? They understand you on an extremely deep level. Extremely deep level. But why are some people saying, well, Scorpio is not sympathetic or empathetic? Because there could be a few reasons for this. First of all, if you're trying to change a Scorpio into doing something that he or she doesn't want to do, then they won't be sympathetic to you. They will be like, no, this is what I want to do, and you're not going to change it. They are very inflexible people. They are very stubborn people. They are very passionate people. They are passionate about not only life, but about the things that they love. Passionate. So that could be one reason why some people may not look at them as sympathetic. Another reason, well, first of all, not everybody who has a sun sign in Scorpio has a lot of Scorpio influence in their chart. Okay? So, if your sun sign is in Scorpio and you have a lot of fire in your chart, well, you're not going to be the most sympathetic person. That's just how it goes. So, you can't just look at, oh, sun sign, and this person I know is a Scorpio and they're not sympathetic. No, absolutely not. Okay? It goes more deeper than that. Okay? So, but trust me, Scorpio as a person, if somebody were just to have, and this would never happen, but if somebody were to just have pure Scorpio in their chart, no other signs, no other signs or anything, then you would be talking about somebody who is very passionate on a deep level. Basically what we're doing is we're talking about somebody who has a lot of this sign in their chart, not just their sun sign, alright? Or who has a lot. Now, also, the 8th house is ruled, Scorpio also rules the 8th house, which is, again, the occult, your occult sciences, like astrology, magic, and all these other deeper things in life. But not only that, but it also rules over death, transformation, rebirth, okay? Not only that, but it also rules over sex. It also rules over taxes. It rules over your in-laws. Okay? So all of these things, and also not only that, other people's possessions. Okay? So these are the things that Scorpio rules over. So with that being said, alright, these people are very... First of all, if you have a lot of Scorpio influence in your chart, watch out, because these people have a very high tendency for being very sexual people. However, they're not going to come out and say that. You will eventually figure it out, but they're not going to come out and say it. Okay? Scorpio is a very secretive sign. Okay? So if you try to hold a secret against a Scorpio, you're gonna eventually, they'll eventually find it out. So don't hold a secret against a Scorpio. Not only that, but they're very secretive people. So there's some things that they won't tell you. They hold it within themselves. So with that being said, okay, some of these, Scorpio and Gemini. Gemini is also another sexual sign, which I forgot to mention, but they're kind of different, okay? Gemini is more sexual, kind of very outward about their sex. Scorpio is kind of, it understands that sex is a very deep, passionate thing that happens between two people, okay? So, with that being said, when you do get into a deep relationship with a Scorpio, yes, you will probably have a lot of that, but they won't be like Gemini, where they're in a relationship with you just because of that. Scorpio understands. Scorpio is a very, committed sign. They want a nice, committed, long-term relationship. They're not about, having all of these different, relationships with people. They're not about the superficial stuff. They're about the deeper things, okay? And sometimes they can be a little too deep, all right? But that is what Scorpio is about. So they understand that this is a deep thing. So they won't be all about that, okay? So with that being said, okay, just because you are not, or I'm trying to figure out the right words to say this. So with all of that being said, Scorpio is not a type of person who will just go around and have a lot of relationships. They're very loyal people, just like their opposite sign, which is Taurus. Now, talking a little bit about opposite signs, all it means is Taurus is on one side of the sky and Scorpio is on the opposite side. It doesn't mean that they're not good together. Scorpio and Taurus can actually be extremely good together, alright? Because again, Taurus has that practicality to them, but they want that committed relationship. Scorpio is very deep. They want a deep relationship, and Taurus kind of does want that. But again, Taurus understands that, you need to be practical about things, and Scorpio, because they're so deep, Taurus kind of can bring them back to life a little bit and say, okay, we need to do this. But, Taurus is there for the Scorpio, and they're both very loving people. This makes them very compassionate. Now, one bad thing about this particular combination, which again we'll also get into eventually, again we'll go into this more in depth, is Taurus and Scorpio are both fixed signs. They're both the two most stubborn signs of the zodiac. So they have to both understand that they hold their opinions. So let's say both of them have opposite opinions. They have to understand that this is something that they hold near and dear to them and not speak out about it. Because if they do, they can get into some serious conflicts. We'll get more in depth in this when we get into a whole series on each of the zodiac signs in a relationship with each other. Yes, that will be a very long series. But but Scorpio, they're very loving people. They are very loving people. But there's this depth to them that makes a lot of people hate them. Okay, because the reason why is because they're secretive, and some people see that secretive side to them. And sometimes they really know how to lie. And I kind of can tell you that firsthand. They know how to lie. They know how to steal things without you even knowing. Okay? Serious stuff here. Alright? But again, this is the general understanding of Scorpio. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and comment below. Subscribe below if you like my videos. And in our next video, it's going to be all about Sagittarius.